have the pleasure to introduce Madeleine Garlick, UNHCR Geneva, who is here with us at the International Conference of the Cosme project to present our forthcoming book for Routledge and Giapichelli. The title is The Legal Appraisal of Community Sponsorship for Refugees in Search of a European Model. Thank you, Madeleine.
It's an honor to be here, to be launching this book and to engaging in substantive discussion with academics, students, policymakers, and representatives of different countries across Europe. This is a crucially important topic that we need to be talking about today. The protection of refugees is a more urgent priority than ever at these times of difficult humanitarian and global developments. And we see this book as a way to inform debate and discussions on sponsorship models that can really contribute to that protection. So thank you for inviting me, and bravo to the University of Tuscia and all who've been involved in this project for this work.
Thank you. Thank you very much for being in the project and with us. Welcome, Professor Mary Ellen Fullerton to the University of Tuscia. It's a pleasure to have you from the Brooklyn Law School here at the Cosme International Conference. I would like to ask you, in these gloomy times for asylum, do you see hope in the future for community sponsorship program worldwide?
I really do. I'm so glad to be part of this conference about community sponsorship, because I think the outpouring of support, volunteers to be sponsors in countries around the world for refugee sponsorship and other humanitarian pathways shows that there is real presence of refugee concerns that we can build on in the future.
It's a pleasure to have here Petra Uek at the University of Tuscia, co-founder of the Share Network. Petra is involved in the Cosme project and he's here for the International Conference of the Cosme project. Petra, I would like to ask you, what do you think is the essence of community sponsorship and the main contribution?
Well, Daniela, first of all, I have to say how very delighted I am to be here at Tuscia and to be part of this Cosmo project that has brought so many people together. I think, having worked on resettlement since over 22 years, what I found the biggest transformation is that we think so differently now on the role of civil society and citizens in refugee protection. When we started, it was a state affair. The state was responsible for protection, they were responsible for reception, and the citizens, they just were passive agents. And with sponsorship, this has completely changed. We really feel about empowerment of communities and the role of contributing to protection. And now that the political scene has changed so much and that people feel very powerless in this current political scene, we still have a way to say we are not like this. We feel solidarity and we want to contribute with supporting refugees and protecting them. So that gives me courage and hope for the future.
Good afternoon. It's my pleasure to introduce Professor Espe Gald from the University of Liverpool, who is here with us at the Cosme conference and has been discussing a very topical issue about the transformation of asylum in international law and the changing landscape of protection. Would you like to say something about this topic?
It would be a pleasure. This has been a wonderful conference, and both you personally and the university have done a fantastic job. I think that one of the aspects that I was most interested in trying to develop has been the question of how deeply in the international community, in the international rule of law, does the entitlement of a refugee to go to seek and receive asylum lie? And we've had some quite recent developments from the International Court of Justice that indicate that in fact this right not to be sent back is embedded at the very heart of the principles of customary international law. this is very important for refugees. It's also very important for the European Union, which will have to comply with what is the statement of state of the art of international law.
Thank you very much for your contribution. We are going to discuss it further in a next conference for sure. It's my pleasure to introduce Professor Paula Garcia Andrade, Universidad Autónoma de Madrid, who is here with us at Tusha University for the Cosme International Conference. Paula gave the final closing speech for the conference about asylum, a right pushed out of reach with a question mark. Paula, would you like to say a word about it?
My intervention in this conference was aimed to reflect on the transformation of the fundamental right to asylum in the EU and how recent developments and legislation arising out of the new Pact on Migration and Asylum, especially those aimed at externalizing migration controls and asylum responsibilities, might be curtailing access to asylum and thus reshaping this right now in the EU legal order. So it was like, the theme underlying the conference, and we tried to show that tension between legal pathways to protection by which states are organizing that transfer of protection seekers from one country to another, but which do not create individual rights, with the fundamental right to asylum that should be honored by states for every individual who seeks for it.